All right, guys, just finished the, well, almost finished the stereo project. So there should be a video up on that with amps and JL Stealth subwoofer underneath the center console, a Toto head unit, Memphis audio, two-way separates, tweeter and mult woofer over there, and kind of your bass pioneer speaker over here. But anyway, topic of this video on the first gen double cab Tundra is I'm gonna attempt to fix that grossness. And well, actually not this yet, but I'm gonna try to attempt to change the bottom seat cover with an eBay unit, which is a full replacement, not just a over-the-top cover. But I guess take a look at this. The color match is not too shabby. It's a little lighter, so it's not like 100% bang on color match, but I have a feeling if I took some leather cleaner to here, to this, it might come closer to that. I'm sure you'll notice it much more in the sun. Let's kind of put it against each other there. So it's significantly lighter. I don't know how it shows up on camera, but I'm going to attempt to replace this. There's going to be a bunch of stretching and pulling and cutting of hog rings and stuff, but what I am planning to do is, let's tip this over here. Okay, so first things first, I have to remove this, which connects to the backside of the top here, and then I have to remove the trim, all the plastic trimming around this side, which looks like there are screws here and there, and then there's some screws I saw earlier somewhere back here. I can't find it at the moment. And so I'm gonna get to it. And this is, by the way, the one with the heated seats, so I have to be careful about not messing up any of those, any of that system. So all right, I'll get back to you. Okay, here's a different view. Sorry, earlier I added a lamp there, but it's in the middle of the day, and so the white balance must really be terrible underneath this thing. But I found the these are gonna have to come off, and this is the back cover that I was talking about. So this is just kind of bungee corded to this. So this comes off. That should give me access to at least the bottom cushion. All right, so here I go. All right, if you guys have the powered seats, then these kind of go on. How did they go on? Like this. And I just took my little panel popper very carefully and just pried them off like that. So there is a screw behind here. By the way, these are machine screws with a really fine thread, so be careful putting these back. These will strip pretty easily. All right, I was able to remove the trim panel all in one piece. Just a few things. Once you get to this backside towards the pivot, you notice this is like a locating hole. You're gonna wanna push up and out, or out and up, whichever, on that plastic piece. Otherwise you're gonna start breaking stuff. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the switch assembly for the powered seats, because they're just like looks like 3 or 4 bolts, screws, a couple right there. And then I'll start figuring out how this thing is clipped on. But I hope that in this setup, these plastic clips here are located in the right place. It seems like they might be. So for example, this matches up with that clip, so that should just clip right on there. What I don't know is, do any of these have to hog ring in on the inside? Because that's when it gets to be kind of a pain. I've done this on the Miata before. So here we go. Okay guys, we're making some progress here. So what I've done so far is remove this switch that was sitting right over there and unplugged everything. You just got to be careful, because you know, 20-year-old cars, their harnesses and plastics are just so brittle. And what I did was I started unclipping these. So these just kind of curl around and you can unclip them. You follow it all the way through, back over here. So all of this is released. Each side has a little press fit plastic plunger thingy, whatever, that goes in on each side. And these are connected to, like, these go under like this and then snap in. So you can just take a flathead and just kind of turn it and tweak it and it'll come right off. So I think, oh, there were a few hog rings that was on here, and I just had my bolt cutter just remove them. And I think I'm ready to take on the next step and start to undo this guy. Anything else? I think that's, yeah, be back. You noticed the difference. So this bottom covering has like a, you know, carpeted piece that goes in the back, probably for noise suppression as they rub together on the top cushion versus the bottom cushion here. But they have these plastic tabs sewn in that has an anchor point for these harnesses right there. So this was kind of taped onto like that. But on the replacement one, it's just like the vinyl piece, so there's nothing there. I wonder what goes through this hook here, because, oh, I see. They probably want me to pull out, yep, they're gonna want me to reuse this wire here. So that goes through over there. All right, so we got the chair flipped over. I'm able to just kind of take this and work it up this way. But you'll see there are hog rings in there. You can't quite see it, can you? The light is terrible. But these are all hog ring down in there, so you'll just have to go through, or I'll need to. Oh, there's one. Oh man, there's one right there. You see that? So these are all probably hog ringed in all the way around through here, and I'll need to find a way to do that to that one over there. All right guys, I'm starting to take this apart, and now is where I think I need to be careful. So I cut off all the hog rings. There's 4 of them on each side. So there's some hog rings in here. And I pulled out the support kind of wire that went into this thing all the way through in there. So this is what the hog ring hooks onto. You'll know what I'm talking about once you get in here. But where I think I need to start being careful is the heating element. I'm not quite sure if this is attached in some way, so I'll report back if there's anything funny, but just be careful on this side. All right guys, finally had been able to take that off. It's just a little finicky, and these wires are really thin and delicate, so just be careful with that. The toughest part is probably the center section, because it's interwoven into this piece, which was kind of looped in on the center section there. So you got to pull that out or cut the hog rings that are on those. But here's a quick comparison between this OEM one. You can see like it's completely chewed up here. I mean, I've seen worse. My other Tundra had way worse. So this is the aftermarket. I mean, you definitely notice differences, you know, but for like 40 bucks, 35 bucks, it's hard to complain, really. The only thing that's worth noting, I don't know anything about the fit yet, but you have no place to slide in the factory wire. So this piece, this is kind of a tougher plastic. So I think I'm gonna have to punch some holes in here and wrap the hog rings, or maybe I might use zip ties depending on how lazy I get, through this, and instead of this wire, use this plastic wire as the support piece. So otherwise that would have looped into this piece. And on the rear, as I mentioned earlier, this is kind of a carpet material, and this wire was weaved inside of there, but I'll probably need to weave this back because there is a place. This is a loop, so you can loop this in, but I'll most likely have to cut some access like holes here, just like you have notched over here. Let's see, let's do a quick comparison of how these things look in some better light. So yeah, I mean, there it is, close enough. All right guys, I did something that may or may not be a good idea. So I had to cut some slits out of this center section. Otherwise, it would have pushed the heating element all the way down. And these are the crucial 2 wires that basically connect this whole front pad area. So I just want to let you know I did cut that so I can slide that through and kind of hog ring that down. Or in this case, I may just use zip ties. I would probably suggest use the high quality ones. These are some of the expensive heavy duty ones that don't give out on you, since no one wants to do this again. All right guys, one of the more time consuming process, but having done this once before, I have a big suggestion for you. Definitely loop, if you're going to use zip ties, loop in the zip ties on, there's a support bar that runs across here, this way and this way. So you're going to want to run the zip tie into that piece, so when you put the covering over it, you can just snatch them down really quick. So do that now, because if you try to do it while you're also trying to put the top on, it's going to be absolutely impossible. I did that with another car and just realized this is a much easier way to do it today. So I'm going to start the last bit of this, and wish me luck. Okay guys, just an initial fitment. I haven't zipped them down or anything, but I just wanted to see initial quality. And as long as you stretch this through, actually another suggestion number 345, when you get this from the mail, lay it out in the sun for a little bit. Let it kind of stretch out on its own and kind of form on its own, because that will really help with the pliability of everything. So once I really lock this down, I'm curious if that corner will tighten up so you don't see the foam. I hope it does. But so far, I mean, take a look. The seams match up right over here. The seams match up over here. So it's looking pretty promising. I'm gonna cinch her down. Suggestion number 3000. All right, so on the eBay one, there are no holes to where you can slip through the zip tie, or in some cases the hog ring. So what I wanted to do, I mean, if you don't have them lined up correctly, then there's a chance that when you zip these down, the covering will not be quite as centered or as kind of centered as you want it to. So I'm using the existing, this is the OEM, and I'm just kind of lining up because this is where that hog ring goes right there. And I'm gonna basically poke a hole. So the existing hole is there, or the OEM hole, so I'm gonna poke a hole somewhere around here. So if I go through all the way around and do that, then that should give me rough bearing, because there is some room for this to kind of shift maybe half an inch on each way, but I kind of want to get it right, and just thought I would give you that suggestion. Okay, so I just went around and took a Sharpie and just marked all the holes I wanted to pierce into, just like that, and literally just took any sharp object I had lying around and just started poking. Okay, that required a little bit of muscling, but I think I was able to get it in. All of the seams have been pressed down with the zip ties, and it seems to be holding pretty well. So now I just need to turn this thing upside down and start snapping in all of these clips. So this is where it can either be really, really hard, or if they did their job right and fitted it well, then it should be fairly straightforward and nice and snug. So I'm already seeing some kind of, I'm hoping this will sort of fill in over time as the vinyl kind of heats up and stretches and molds onto the foam. Good thing was, when I opened this up earlier, there was no deterioration in the foam itself, so I didn't have to repad any of that. So all right, hopefully this will be the last couple steps here. All right guys, it's virtually impossible to do this with one hand. You kind of have to do it with two hands, so I haven't been able to film much of anything, but I did sort of muscle through and get all the clips in. You can get this side in and curve this around and get this side in, that side in, and kind of curve this around. But this, is kind of impossible because it has like an inverted slot right here. I don't know if you can see that. That's supposed to clip on this way, but from an inverted fashion like that. So there's too much plastic in order for it to stretch out. So I may have to like pull it this way and kind of pull it that way. But I did already tighten this down over here. I did have to poke some holes and put in that rod back in and zip tie it to the original locations. I clipped in all the harnesses back in with the OEM clips that are super brittle. I actually broke one over here. I had to use a zip tie. So yeah, you have to poke a hole through there for the original factory wire. So now I just need to zip tie this back to the original location, which is the back protective pad that covers everything. And then hopefully I get to put her back in the car. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with this front section. I'm gonna try to muscle with it a little more. If not, I may let it sit for a while with the cover back on, the kind of the, you know, trim piece back on, and see. Oh, I gotta install the switch too. So let me do a couple more things. All right, so there it is. A little bit finicky to get the panel back in because you gotta, you know, squeeze it in between all the new vinyl cover. But overall, it seems to be pretty good. All the bolts and the screws went in where they were supposed to. Let me just double check. Yep. And as it turns out, you couldn't even see the front tap flap that was hanging over here that I still have to clip in. So I'll figure that out if it becomes a problem or if it starts to stretch out this front section sort of abnormally. I'll pull it back out and I'll figure that out. But yeah, overall it went in really well. So now it's time to put it back in the truck. Guys, there it is. Pretty happy with that, actually. I would say it's a 9 out of 10 match. I don't know, what do you guys think? I hope they can find one or they make one for the top piece, because I'd love to. Over time, this is really gonna, I mean, once these start to break down, it accelerates in degradation really fast. So I'm hoping some of these creases, you know, some of these marks, they look like shipping marks really, over time and with some heat cycles will disappear, and it just kind of forms like, I don't know if that crease is ever going to disappear, but I kind of don't care. It's so much better than that ugly one that was in here just over the last 20 years. And if you see, the seams really line up well, almost on that one. I guess depends on your angle, but you don't see any of the OEM cushion inside underneath that. You barely can see, well, actually not really. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Glad we went through that effort. Hope this video helps.